I'm going to call upon Earl to come to the mic and actually say a few things. So Earl, if you can, just tell us about what COR is all about and your involvement with COR.
Well, thank you, Jag. I'm the COR manager for Safety Driven, which means my position is one of managing the COR program, or managing how COR is implemented through Safety Driven. And we keep talking about COR. It stands for Certificate of Recognition, and this is exactly what that is. It's a certificate that's granted to a company that's shown their safety program exceeds just bare compliance, but goes beyond.
What first prompted you and the organization to get into COR?
The answer to that is WorkSafe BC. It started in 2012, and Inland Kenworth, we were not great at safety. We actually had very high claim costs, and WorkSafe BC assigned us a prevention officer. The COR came up, and she said, well, what's that? And he explained it, but he said to her, I don't think there's any way that you guys are ready for COR. And I would say to you now, 5 years later, it's the best thing that ever happened to our company, because we really do have a safety culture change, and it changes every year for the better.
We were finding more and more that in order to bid for business, we had to prove we were a safe company. We had to, and there were actually companies out there, it was a requirement for their suppliers to be COR certified.
Our initial safety program and program officer knew of COR. We had a very disciplined program, and we had a very much of a disciplinary approach to safety. However, our safety rates and incidents were very high, and morale was really low, and there was definitely a disconnect. Having that confirmation that our program and the belief in our program and the adoption of our program was being shared across the entire organization, from the very first day the person joins us to that associate that was with us for 7 years. And as well as our team that had been with us for 6 months, a year, 2 years, new people coming on board will often comment that they notice that everyone is focused on safety. The message is there, and we live it on a day-to-day basis.
It can be overwhelming if you start from zero, which I'd say we did. But it's exciting all the same. And COR sets the structure for you can follow and set your priorities, do everything you need to do. And what happens, that first COR audit, you're nervous. You're like, wow, are we gonna pass this or not? We've been prepping for months, and you don't know. And there is an excitement when you pass it because you've worked really hard. But basically, the manager's on board, the executive's on board, and you need that. But with the employees, sometimes they think, wow, this is over the top. We went from 0 to 100 in the sense that we weren't really focused on safety, and at first they're kind of not buying into it. But I'll tell you, over the 5 years, I can say emphatically that you can see that you change people's minds one by one.
If I can give everybody a piece of advice, if they're just starting this, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is get your membership with Safety Driven right off the bat, because there is amazing resources there, huge base of knowledge, and you really don't need to reinvent the wheel. They're there to help you, and let them help you.
The biggest change is in the 5 years, it's not such a hard sell anymore. It's really, I can't talk enough about our culture change, and we're still changing, but it's unbelievable.
It's very subtle, the change, but you see it happening, and it's with every single person, right from the president, starting every meeting that he chairs with safety discussions, to the 20-year old school employee in the warehouse that used to climb on racks to get boxes down. Now he gets out a stepladder and does the job properly. So it's very subtle things, but that's the biggest benefit to this whole process, is changing the culture.
It's not just a bunch of nice binders, and I think that's what COR ensures us, that we don't have this really nice set of binders of beautifully produced safety rules, policies, and obligations. It becomes a living program. That's not just keep our associates and ourselves alive. It's that we continue to identify changes in our operations, even if they're really subtle. And once we've identified them, we implement an improvement to keep reducing our risk and our safety. And so I think that's that above and beyond that COR helps us and holds us to our core ideals.
We have people on staff that speak Chinese, Korean, Punjabi.
I think, Earl and the panel members, I think you nailed it. If you are dedicated to the safety and well-being of the company and your employees, I mean, this should be a priority for everybody.
I can tell you if you're going to attempt it, and I would encourage you to, whoever is in charge of your company, that's the first place to start. You need to have buy-in because there is the resources that you need to put toward it, whether it's time, there's some money, there's a change in priorities. So it has to start with whoever leads your company. They have to be on board 100% with it.